במדרש רבה ריש פרשס דברים דבר אחר. אילו אחר אמר אתה ידעתי כי גדול הוויה, היו אומרים זה אומר אתה ידעתי. אלא יסרו שחזר על כל בתי עבדי גלולים שבעולם ולא מצא בהם ממש, ואחר כך הולו. So it says something else, a different interpretation. And what is that? That if somebody else had said, now I know that Hashem is greater, they would say, this guy's saying, now I know. Who is he to say this? But Yisro, that he went around to all of the houses of Avodah Zarah in the world and didn't find anything in them, and afterwards said it. So it's proper and pleasant for him to say, now I know. Ad kan Lashono. It's the end of the quote. V'chein hu ba'arichus Yosef b'medrash Koheles al pasuk es kol asa yafa b'ito. So too, at length, it says this in Medrash Koheles on the verse that he made everything proper in its time. We can say that Yisro is from the language of the greatness of light that comes from darkness. And the greatness of wisdom that's compared and comes from foolishness. Now from these midrashim, it seems it's proper that Yisro said, now I know that Havai is greater than all the Elokim. And is this really a praise though? To just say that his conduct and his the flow of his strength into world is greater than the 70 ministering angels. Doesn't seem like really such a praise. And even though this is very small, something to tell us that's really small, to tell us that the strength of the Creator is greater than the strength of the created. But there's no comparison at all, really. So what kind of praise is it? And at first glance, it seems that he's even giving some kind of importance or even any credence to the idol worshippers. From this that he says, from all these Elokim, meaning that there are these Elokim and he's greater than them. So it implies that there are also Elokim, and only that he's greater than them. How does the Midrash Rabbah then say that he didn't find in them anything of substance? If so, what is his statement then? From all the Elokim, if he didn't find them mamash, then how could he also say that he's greater than them? That he says, who is like you amongst the strong ones, Hashem. And like we said before, Elim is from Lashon Elon, that the branches, the 70 branches of the tree, are Shemos Elokim, or the concept of the ministering angels. Havaya Elokechem hu Elokei HaElokim. Havaya, your Eloka is the Elokei of the Elokim. Yishtachvu kol Elokim, that all Elokim bow down to him. Achul gufa kasha, but this itself needs explanation. Alo be'emes. So that seems to imply that there is a concept of Elokim, that the ministering angels are called Elokim. But this itself is the question. Alo be'emes mi'beladai Elokim, that the truth is, and other than him, there's no Elokim. Kedel kaman sif. And that it says on the bottom, Sif Daled. Later on in Sif Daled, it'll say, It'll talk about it in the next sif. If so, how are they called Elokim? This that they're called Elokim. We must say then that the ministering angels are called Elokim. It's from the strength that he may be blessed, or gave in their hands. Like it says by that Moshe, I've placed you as an Elokim to Paro. This is because of the strength that Hashem has given into Moshe's hand. And like we'll say in the next Sif, and since he may be blessed, give them strength in the world from him, and called them ministering angels. That like it's brought in Midrash Rabbah Shir Shir on the verse, why should I be like wrapped up on the herd of sheep of your friend? Yesh perush de chavirecha hem ha'in sorim. There's one explanation that the herd of your friend, that refers to your friends, that refers to the 70 ministers. So it calls them friends, so to speak. They have some kind of shaykhus. Vayin sham betargum tikun ha'inyan, and look how the Targum properly translates it, so as not to be kofar chas v'shal. Im kein shapi yishlomar hashevach afal pi shnasalem koach in zem erach hakoach v'gdula shel hanhagaso yisbarech. If so, we can properly say the praise that even though you gave them strength, that because it comes directly from Hashem Himself, so that koach from Hashem cannot be compared. The strength and greatness to His conducting may be blessed on His own all of the worlds. Now we find that there's a angel who's called the minister of the world. The concept of matat, Kamayim Razal, Pasuk Nar Hayisi Gam Zakanti, like our sages said on the verse, I was a young man and I also grew old. Saru Shalom Omro, that the minister of the world said it. So if Perakama Diabamos Taftezain, and about this it says, here I am sending an angel in front of you. Moshe Rabbeinu Olav Shalom Lo Ratzu Lekablo, and Moshe Rabbeinu Olav Shalom did not want to receive him. Shneimar im ein panecha chulu, like it says, if your countenance doesn't go, I'll tell enemies. Minyan Saru Shalolam, and so what's this concept of the ministering angel of the world? Hainu Shan Hagas Ha'olam Al Yado, that is that the conduct of the world is through him. V'nikra Avdo Hamoshel B'chol Asher Lo, and it's called like Eliezer was called by Abraham, his servant, that rules over all that's his. Meaning a general concept of Hashpah from Hashem to Olamos. Ba'im B'Zohar Parshas Noach Tafayin Hey Amud Beis Al Pasuk Sharach Chatzer Apnimis Hapone Kadim Sagur Yehiyeh Sheshis Yemi Amase Shebehem HaNagal Yidei Nar Matat. Look what it's brought in Zohar Noach about the verse that the gate of the inner courtyard that faces east will be closed the 6 days of the week. That meaning to say that Hashpah is not coming in a revealed way from there during Yemusah Chol. That during those days the Hanhaga comes through the Hashpah of the so to speak young man Matat. the nar, like it's brought in Reshis Chachma. This is Zohar. V'da yu matat yu eved chulu, and that's matat, who's the servant. V'shali b'shis yom in the chol chulu, that he rules, he's ruling over the 6 days of the week. V'ayin b'pardis sharabiyah, so perek dal v'zelashono. Look what it says in Pardes. V'inyin yemei chol ha'ela, and the concept of these days of the week. It's hard. Truth is, it's hard to handle this. Because at first glance, the person who contemplates on this will be astounded. Because it seems, God forbid, that there's some kind of removal of Hashem's watching over. Because he, so to speak, gave his watching over to the lower realms. Seemingly to matat, and to explain the how to answer these questions, we'll explain in the chapter after this, and that's the end of the quote from that parak. And in the end of Perek Hey, he answers the question, because in terms of watching over and hashgacha, he's constantly watching over the world. But the intent here is on the sustenance and the flow. But it comes from below. These flows coming through below from the command of above. That's the end of the quote, and he goes at length about this to properly describe it. Look over there. That answer to that question. Look what's brought in Likutei Torah Shir Hashirim about how nice are your feet in their shoes. Concerning Matat, who's called the shoe of the Shechinta. Because a shoe, its translation is a sheath. In the Targum Yonasan, on the verse that he took off his shoe with Nasan L'Re'eu. Concerning Khalifin, Hashefa, that is to say, a sheath in which is hidden the flow. V'hinehu malach shu lashon shliach, and here he is a malach, an angel, which is also the language of a messenger. So the flow is hidden in him, and he's the messenger of it. Al-kain in zechas v'shalom siluk hashkacha. And if so, it's not, God forbid, a removal of divine watching over. Ki al piv yizbarach yitzeu v'yiso v'al piv yachanu, because it is according to Hashem's mouth that will go out and travel, and on his mouth and command that we will camp. Just like we traveled in the desert and stopped and started by the command of Hashem, so to the Malach. Al piv, like the pasuk says that higher upon higher is he guards, and even higher than that. Concerning the levels of Malachim and they as messengers from above. So in Medrash Rabbah Breshis, concerning Kain and Hevel, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says that it's very hard to say this. And it's hard for a mouth to describe it. Lishnei Islitin Shayu Umdin Imskoshishin Lifnei HaMelech, that there were two maybe cursed ones or whatever fighters, that they were standing and arguing in front of the king. Ilu Ratzah HaMelech Pirshan, if the king wanted to separate them, he could have. V'lo Ratzah HaMelech Lefarshan, and the king didn't want to separate them. Nischazik Echad Al Chaveru V'hargo, so one of them became stronger than their other one, V'hargo, and he killed him. V'haya mitzaveach v'omer man yivoi dini min kadam malka chulu, and he cried out and he said, who will argue for me in my judgment in front of the king? She'im hayarotza haya muche biyad hamakeh, that if he wanted to, he could have stopped the person who was hitting the other. Ein Sham b'matnas kuna, and look what it says in the matnas kuna. So the point is that he wanted someone to claim for him that he was the king, had the ability to stop him. Look what's brought in Tosfos Yom Tov and the Midrash Avos that says that everything is watched, but permission is given. That's similar to the idea of this Midrash. V'ne'amar k'moshu ben shnei bnei adam she'ochel limchos ve'eno mocha, and we can say that just like it is between two people, that he can stop one and he doesn't, because he gave them the free choice. Kach be'inyan sar shel olam, so too it is with this matter of the ministering angel of the world. He gave him the strength to give flow in accordance with the natural order in the conduct of the world. Even though Hashem, if he wanted to, could stop and have and destroy the natural order with the miracles and so forth. He only stops at very distant times. Very rarely. So too the ministering angels of the 70 nations of the world. Nitan Lahem HaKoach, the ability is given to them, lashpia ba'arzo, to give flow into their particular land, v'gam lizgaber ze al zeh, and also to become stronger one over the other, kinyan bez islitin hanal, like these two people who are fighting in front of the king. And that's why these ministering angels are called Elokim, because of the strength that's given into them from Elokim, from Hashem. And even though in truth they are not Elokim, they don't really have strength, because when Hashem wants to, he stops them and does it differently. Like it says, everything Hashem desires, he does in the heavens and the earth. That is to say that even though there is a, so to speak, a ministering angel of the world, and a number of ministers, nonetheless, it's all within Hashem's desire that he does. And like the pasuk in Navi, that a person says, my plottings will stand, and I will do all of my desires. So that's referring to Hashem, who says that the truth is, it's all my plotting, and it's my desires that are fulfilled. And this is that it says that he is a sign amongst the multitudes of holy Osu b'tzeva shelo, that the name Tzvos is that he is his sign amongst his army, amongst his multitudes. meaning to say that it's his the central point that controls it all, that gives the koach. Look in the kitzer of this sif that will explain Vilo Pirashan, that what the Medrash says, that the king didn't separate them, Zeulamata Shish Bechira, that's below where a person has free choice. Mash'in kin lamaila, but that's not how you would describe it above in the spiritual state beforehand. Vim kain, so meaning to say that even though below it seems that they have strength, but really it's coming from the king above, and the king is not separated from what's going on. Only seems like that below. Vim kain perish ki gadol havaya mikol, and if so, this that it says that Hashem is greater than all, maybe that's like the yediyah from above that doesn't shter the bechira, like the Rambam talks about in Hilchos Yesod Torah or Hilchos Tshuva. Im came perish ki gadol havaya mikol, and if so, this that it says that havaya is greater than all. Hainu av shenas lem koach. So when Yisro says Havaya is greater than all the Elokim, he's not talking about Avodah Zarah, but we are talking about the ministering angels and describing this idea that we've said here. Avshin nasan lehem koach, that even though he gave strength into them, veinu moche biyadon, and doesn't stop them from doing, im kol zeh gadol kocho, nonetheless his strength is greater. Lishlot alehan, to rule over them, af kisheino mishane hateva, even if he's not changing the nature of the world that he created. Tahainu inyan sibas asibos, that is like the concept of that he is the reason of reasons, like we said, that's the concept of sovev, that he is not just within memale, the natural order, but that he's the cause of all the causes from beyond. It's like with what happened with Haman, that they hung him on the tree, and it's known the concept of Chamishi Mama that goes all the way up. That's where it comes from, the concept of Soviv. And this is then a great praise, Sha'afal Pi, that even though that he doesn't. So this would be even the story of Purim. And there he doesn't change nature, doesn't break nature, that even in such a case, where it goes through the natural order, if so, he's not, so to speak, stopping their strength. Nonetheless, even within the natural order, his strength is great to rule over them, that it should go in accordance within the natural order, to go in accordance with his will. And that's the concept of reason of reasons, the makif that surrounds and affects, in, so to speak, a distant way, meaning not in revealed state within Mamale, but coming from Soviv. This is known, the concept of Kriyas Yamsuf, which is breaking the nature, is revealing the Alma Diskasya within the Alma Diskalya and so forth. It's a union of the Soviv and Mamali. But so here we're saying that it's not revealed, but it's still within the nature, and he's not stopping them, so to speak. But even there, we see Hashem's ruling and strength. And this is a great In addition, that even though he doesn't change the nature completely, and if so, he's not stopping them. Nonetheless, also in this concept, his strength is greater to rule over them. And that's the concept of the reason of reasons. If so, this concept of that Havaya is greater than all the Elokim, Elokim does not contradict the idea that other than me there's no Elokim. Because the truth is that they're not Elokim, they don't really have strength, because if he wanted to stop them, he could stop them, meaning to say that he's in control the whole time, and there's no rulership really ever given over to them. But only that he's placed, so to speak, the strength in his hands, that the world should conduct itself according to nature in general. And therefore they're called Elokim, because they come through Hashem's strength in the way he conducted the world. And similarly, our sages said in Chulin, why are the magics called kshafim? Shemakchish in palmalia shel maila, because keshef is like makchish, that they contradict the heavenly above. But nonetheless, even in this concept, that they're called Elokim, as we describe them, as conducting the nature, Gadol Havaya mikol Elokim. Nonetheless, even in that state, Havaya is greater than the Elokim. That everything he wants, he does. Because the causes, the reasons are not taken away from him, the ability to affect. Whether he wants to do it through nature, like I guess in the story of Purim, or above nature, and the like, to break the nature. And it is proven from this pasuk that by Yisro here, that in this thing that they intended, that it's an exact recompense and so forth, what the Mitzrayim had intended to do to the Jews. We must say that this happened through the reason of reasons, the concept of the makif of Sovev, that it should happen in such a way that within the conduct of nature that's in order, that comes through the ministering angel of the world, is enclosed within it that which is above nature, and is enclosed within different things that happen to cause it to be according to the ratzon of above, of the beyond, of Hashem, who's beyond nature. And that this is drawn down from a level that's higher than the miracle that is beyond nature, or outside of nature. Completely. Because in this case, you also have beyond nature, outside of nature, and it's also enclosed within the nature. So it shows his complete rulership over it. And look over there, that in the Mamer, it describes that the miracle that's outside of nature comes from Ziranpin, like the pasuk that he conducts to the right of Moshe, his glorious arm. Meaning to say, within Moshe's hand, he's conducting. I guess the even though in general Kriyas Yam Suf is outside of Teva, but the fact that Moshe raised up his arm to do this is a certain concept within Teva, but he's the one who conducts Moshe's arm, so to speak. And to enclose that which is beyond nature within the garment of nature, Nimshach Misod Abba. So that's drawn from higher than Zah. That's the nace that's outside of nature. It comes from Zah. But the miracle that's outside of nature in nature, Nimshach Misod Abba. So that comes from Yisod Abba, Mekabel Matik Yomin, that receives from Matik Yomin. So certainly higher than Zah. Because that's like a concept of uniting two opposites together within nature and beyond nature. Al Ein Pei Daf Kuf Yud Ches Amud Aleph Kashin Mazonosav Shel Adam Yosu Min HaGeula Chulu, that a person's sustenance is more difficult than the redemption. Uke'inyin Shem Razal Suf Perek Hamad Baba Basra Daf Yud Vav Amud Aleph. And like I just said, Baba Basra Shavoras Achavis Vishmoras Yena, like was brought similar to what Hashem told the Satan: break the vessel and guard the wine. That he broke Eov's body, but he had to keep his soul. Hafis nafsho shmor, even though he doesn't say that directly here. So we can say here, break the jug, shviras hateva, that's breaking the nature, all the asibos, and it flows through these wondrous causes that have the world conduct according to Hashem's will. Habai misibos kol asibos, that comes from that which the reason and the cause for all the causes. Vishmoras yena, but guard its wine. Afal pichin he calls them lubash b'levush hateva, that all of this will nonetheless be enclosed with the garment of nature. V'lo yetsa davar chutz leteva lagamre, and nothing will go out of the order of the natural order completely. Just like the story of Purim, that there were reasons why he despised Vashti and took Esther and so forth. And if so, in explaining, now I know that Havaya is greater than all the Elokim. That is to say that even in the concept of Elokim, which is the gematria of Hateva, the nature, so Gadol Havaya Mikol Elokim Shebezen Nitan HaKoach L'Saro Shel Olam, that within this, the strength was given from Hashem to the ministering angel of the world, Lihiyos HaHanhaga Kafim Min Hago Shel Olam, that the conduct should be in accordance with the natural conduct of the world, and from that the 70 ministering angels receive. Now also this concept, Gadol Havaya Mehem, Havaya is greater than them. Havaya is greater than them because he shines from that which is beyond nature to enclose it truly within the nature. So Havaya is greater than all the Elokim. Even within the Elokim, when it's not broken, Havaya is still greater than them. And Hainu Bein Elokim de Kedusha. That's why it says from all the Elokim, meaning not to say Avodah Zarah, but even within the concept of Elokim, of holiness. Kuf Kaf Tzirufi Elokim, the 120 combinations of the name Elokim. Bein Bibichinas Elokim Acherim, or whether we're talking about other Elokim. Kuf Kaf Tzirufim, the 120 combinations are called Biyado Lishanos. It's all within Hashem's hand to change it. וכן פירוש בשלה פרשס יסרו דף ש"ז עמוד בייס בדיבור המסחיל לא תרצח. וזהו עניין כי בדבר אשר זדו, and this is the concept of this pasuk, that within the thing that they had intended, that's where they were judged. Chayusibos, misibos asibos, that there were causes from the reason of reasons. Mashirad fu mitzrayim acharehem. That's why Mitzrayim ran after them in order so that they should be judged in that way. And that is what caused that in the pot that they cooked, they themselves were cooked, like we said. So that's not talking about the miracle of splitting the sea. It's talking about the fact that they chased after them, that comes from a hidden place, the sibos asibos. It seems within nature that they chose to do that, but that's really coming from beyond. Parshas told us and over there in Zohar told us about that, and Hashem will have the rulership. So Parshas Lech Lecha Daf Reish Behei Amud Beis B'Shem Abachai Parshas Mishpatim Shu Adon L'Chol Masha Tachtav. Look what the Shalah says in the name of the Bechai in Mishpatim, that he is the ruler over everything that's below him. Hamoshel B'Chol Asher Lamayla, he rules over everything above. Beratzon Hashem Yisbarach, that it all happens from the will of Hashem Yisbarach. Parshas Vayeshev Davshin Beis Amud Aleph. V'ayin b'Torah Ohr Parshas B'Shalach B'dibur HaMaschil Ach Ichlu Hayom. Look what's brought in Torah Ohr and B'Shalach about the man. You should eat it today. Man shenemar bo liktu dvar yom biyomo. That man, it says about it, you should choose it every day, pick it every day. That's why, because it comes from beyond time. Why does it say every day? Because it's always there, because it comes from beyond time. It's coming from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Which is not the case with bread from the earth, that the bread from the earth is under the concept of that there's no blade of grass that does not have a mazel that hits it and tells it to grow, meaning to say that it's coming through the sodium in the natural order. So the lechem min hashamayim is coming from beyond the natural order. And the root is from matat, the ministering angel of the world, that it says about him that I was young and I was also old. So you can't say that he's beyond time, because like the man, because he's within time. That the fact that he's young and grows old it reflects the fact that he is under the concept of time. And therefore it also grows on Shabbos, which is not the case with the man, that it did not come down on Shabbos. So meaning to say that it wasn't under time, beyond time. Meaning to say that it's coming from Chitzonius, that the Chitzonius doesn't stop on Shabbos. The Aliyah is to the Pnimius. The Aliyah is Pnimius almost. But nonetheless, even with the bread from the earth, our sages said, Parnasa b'chol yom, that the sustenance every day, that it is actually coming from HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself, not through a messenger. And this, like we brought before, in the name of the Pardes, And that in the end of Parakeh, where he answers the question, it seems about the Sar Shel Olam. Shirak nishpa mazon al yedei matat, that the flow of the sustenance is only coming through matat, malhu b'ashkacha, but it's really coming from Hashem's watching over, or Mamer el Yinchul, and Hashem's divine decree from above and beyond matat. So when we say that the lechem min haaretz comes through time and is within time, but the truth is, it's like the miracle of Purim. It's like that Hashem's beyond nature is actually ruling and is within nature, causing it to happen, like from Sovev, the Sibas Asibos, like we said. And so too it is with Matat, the sustenance from below, and that the Parnas every day is coming directly from a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Truly.